and welcome to the Haunted Minds Anthologies from the fucked up minds of the scrapbook universe. We're here to give you a full month of scary, spooky shit to keep your butthole tight. Stay with us, and we are gonna try to terrify you.
And welcome back to the Scrapbook Podcast. This is the Haunted Minds Anthologies. We are wrapping it up. Bong. And we got a couple of bangers that we're going to give you. And both of them are by Patrick. I'm bringing Patrick in today because I believe in him. And he knows that. Y'all give it up for Pat. P. Yeezy in the house. I'm your host, Jody Pratt. This is my fellow host, Patrick Wakefall.
Yo.
About to give you dynamite to finish up the Haunted Minds Anthologies. Bangers only in this motherfucker. He about to bang your ears right now.
Sounds like assault. All right. So what I got today is I'm going women heavy this month because I just feel like it's an easier story, to go with.
And he loves bitches.
I mean, women.
I apologize. I was just joking.
So the woman is 27 years old. Her name is Deborah. And she is fresh coming out of a cult. And the cult, to initiate yourself, you start at a really young age. And so she's been doing, all the cultish shit as far as like harvesting food, living in the compound essentially. And she gets pregnant by the dude at the top of the totem pole.
The cult leader.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so my bad for stopping you here, but this is a John Jones type of thing, or is it Waco? What kind of...
To be honest, I know about John Jones. I don't know about Waco. I've heard of it, but I don't really know the full...
It was just... The cops pretty much just killed a bunch of niggas, set the house on fire. Honestly, if we're really going to look into it.
So it wasn't even like a...
It was a cult, but they weren't doing anything, really.
Oh, they were just chilling.
They were just chilling.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now, this cult's doing shit.
Yeah. yeah. So it's kind of like John Jones, like...
what did John Jones do besides the Kool-Aid?
He moved everybody into a whole nother country and pronounced this as his own country, Jonestown, I believe it was called, and then killed hundreds of people and children. And also a senator of America. One of the American senators went out there to see what he was doing. I believe it was a South American country, and he killed him as well.
Damn. Nah, see, what they're doing is more of like, I would say they're more of like a satanic practice.
Ooh, that's even more intense. Well, not more intense than like niggas killing children.
I'm going to put you on the bench.
Yeah.
Sit on the bench.
I'm out, coach. Nigga, my knee hurt.
All right. So, yeah, it's more like a satanic cult. And to pledge your life to God, or to Satan in this story, you have to sacrifice a kid. And she's pregnant by the cult leader. And he's like, you're going to sacrifice this kid. And then we ascend. We go to the next level. And then she has it. Sacrifices a kid.
How old?
A freshborn baby.
Oh, immediately.
And it's like a ritual practice. Like everybody's set around them. Everybody's in robes and shit. There's like humming, like that, like that monk shit. Yeah. But like it's 37 niggas in tone. Jackie Chan Adventures. I love that shit. Hey, they might have been cursing us for all we fucking know. Yeah, for real though.
I was like, nigga, I can run like a chicken if I get this rooster talisman.
I wanted to be an archaeologist for so long because of that.
Yeah.
That seems like the career. My mom was like, it doesn't make money. I was like, looking at the ground, hella tough.
Hush mode.
All right, where was I?
Oh, you were talking
Oh, yeah,
about...
so, like, they sacrificed the kid, to Satan. And then she is in that. And then she goes through, I'd say, 3 to 4 years of life after that. And then realizing she's just like, I don't want to do this anymore. I should have never done what I did. And she starts to regret it. And so she tries to get out. And she's noticed like stirrings, sounds, like feet on the ground when she's asleep, but she hasn't really seen too much. And what I'm thinking is that when she leaves, because she leaves in the middle of the night, because this isn't a place where you can just walk away. They're probably gonna try to kill you, or at least like keep a leash on you and be like, stay in this town. We're gonna keep tabs on you. You need to report in. Don't tell them what we're doing in here.
Like some Mormons and shit.
Yeah, and the fact that they've killed a kid is the main reason why they're like, you bring police here, there is bodies on the property. So, they get some dogs out here. It's not going to be too hard for them to find. So let's keep a tight lip on this shit. And so she leaves in the middle of the night, and she gets out, and she's running. She gets picked up by, an 18-wheeler going across country. And she gets moved to, like, the next state. So she's free and clear now. Because she's on a cross-country 18-wheeler. That there's a billion of them. They're in the middle of, nowhere.
Hitchhikers.
Yeah.
Yeah, I get it.
And so she's out, gets to the next state, gets out, has a little bit of cash on her. I said maybe like $20-$30. And we'll call this, when was Homeboy Charles Manson? When was that? 70s?
Yeah.
When was it though?
Like,
late 70s, early 70s?
I want to say mid.
Mid? Let's go early 70s then.
Okay.
Early 70s. She's running away from this cult. Gets there, and this was back when the help wanted sign really meant you walk in and ask us.
We will take the sign off.
Same day.
Yeah.
Same day.
You can start right now.
Yeah. Can you not come in hooer clothes next time, but also put on this smock?
What the fuck is a W-2? You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Like,
but she wearing the whole get down. You feel me? The whole like.
Still the robe and shit.
Yeah, the robe. Yeah.
So all this whole time she's feeling paranoia. She's feeling.
Yeah, she's feeling
anxious,
like there's something there she's not seeing.
As well as being watched.
Well, she has the paranoia of them catching her.
Yeah.
But she also feels like at nighttime when she's trying to sleep, she feels like there's something around her, running around her. Or like trying to get close to her, and then when she looks, it's not there.
Damn.
And so she's going through all this, sees the help wanted sign, goes in, gets a job same day. She's like, boom, 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 bust out 2 weeks real quick. That $20 lasts her, a hotel is probably like 10 for the week or something. I don't know what it was in the 70s. I don't know.
Like a decent amount, maybe like $35, $40.
Okay, well then maybe she's staying in the car that maybe she steals the car.
I like that.
And that's how she gets out. And then she just doesn't really know how to drive.
Yeah.
So she just stays on the same highway for stupid long, and she's like, I need to go bathroom, I need to go eat, I need to get off. And then she gets off, and that's the place she stays when she finds that help wanted sign.
Yeah.
Gets a job, and I think she kind of sets roots here because she doesn't have any other option. She's low on gas. She has $12 to her name. She's like, I'm going to stay here for a minute, get my shit. I'm far enough away, and I've never heard of this place. So he hasn't. And so she's really running away from the dude that's the father of this child. And as the story builds, I would say that's where her visions of seeing a young child running around, about 2-3 years in, she starts seeing like a toddler running around her the store. And she doesn't. She's catching the edge of it, not like, like when your kids like playing shit and then they hit the corner, all you see is like their heels.
Yeah, because they're about to get in some mischievous activity.
Exactly, or you just see hair flowing and that's it.
Doobie Fly is her mopping, and her getting like dirty little footprints, and when she turns around, it leads and she sees the edge of him like dipping out.
That's brilliant. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, and so that's where it starts. She starts to see this kid, and as time progresses, she moves up in the company, and she just takes it as like because she never sees the face, so she really takes it as haunting, like I'm being taken by a demon or something, because she did believe in Satan. She did worship him, and she pledged her life to him. So at the end of the day, that's really kind of like
where the fuck you're at.
Yeah, you mentally, that's where your brain is at when shit starts happening like this weird. And so time passes 5 years. She notices that the baby is growing. It's not a 2-year-old or 3-year-old anymore. It's a 5-year-old. It's how many years she's been away from there. That's the age of the kid. And she gets an opportunity to manage a different store in the same business a few towns over. And she does that, and, you know, that's about where I'm at.
So I think for sure it should be some sort of diner. Or even, some sort of diner. And then now she can manage one, right?
Yes.
And then she takes over that shit, and she's steadily digging in her roots and shit like that.
Mm-hmm.
Gay, straight, now.
What do you call it when you're not really into people?
Asexual.
She's asexual.
Okay.
She after the whole cult thingy, she's just like not really feeling dudes. She'll flirt for the job.
Yeah,
but then
for
walk
the tips.
away. Yeah, and then turn away and be like,
Because it would make it. Now that makes my job harder, but it's okay, right?
That's what I'm here for.
So, let's say her supervisor comes in. He's a big old repugnant looking nigga. You know what I mean? Just greasy and dirty, just a pig of a man.
Mm-hmm.
He constantly. Now it's about the 80s, so he's a toucher. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Sexual abuser, serial sexual abuser. And now he's like, groping and shit like that. Other women in her establishment, he's like, she tells him, hey, you know what I mean? It's good. You don't need to come here. I got it down. You know what I mean? She's a higher up now, of course, like you said. And one night, he presses her. You know what I mean? And while he's like trying to take her from the back, and she's like, back up, bro. And he just like, oh, yeah, I know you. You know what I mean? You want this. You know what I mean? I see how you look at me. And he's like, she says, Deborah's like, yo, you don't get disgust from lust. You know what I mean? You don't know the difference in her head. And then as he's like sliding his hand underneath her shirt, like he hears a pan fall in the back. He's like, what was that? And she's like, she's just as confused. He's like, is somebody here? Like, are you trying to get me caught up? Obviously in old 80s terms. You know what I mean? And he goes and looks. He doesn't find anything.
I was going to say something.
Good.
No, just like that response that he was going to say, and I was like, I heard nothing but racist shit to say. I was like, keep your mouth closed. Go ahead.
So he's looking and stuff like that. And he's like, hey, who's back here? And she's like, because she tells him, like, nobody's supposed to be here. And he looks back, gets a kitchen knife and shit like that. Like, if you're trying to rob this place, you're fucked. You might as well leave. And then there's nothing. He goes all the way back to the walk-in, opens the walk-in. Nothing in there. And it's like he opens it up and it's like a hell of, mist comes out of that bitch. And he's like staring in there. He's like, huh. Turns back around. And it's like all right, you can totally discard this or keep this shit in, right? And it's just like a pan just flies and smacks this niggas in the face. And then he falls on his back in the walk-in. And it closes and locks.
I was thinking the exact same thing 20 seconds prior, but not from behind, but from the back.
Oh, from the back. He
opens up the freezer.
Yeah.
And he's like, and then the camera sets to the side of him, and you can see him opening the freezer from the side angle, and then you just see like
Blippity.
the hardest pan being thrown at the back of his head, and then he just like knocks out into it.
Yeah. And face first into the...
Face first into it.
belly first and then roll up to the face.
Yeah, and then you see, like, his feet get moved a little bit as the door is pushed in.
Okay. Because I want it to be a jump, like a surprise scare, to keep people in the...
Not knowing who it is?
Yeah, so it just covers up what we see as of his POV. So it's just a bottom of a pan. You know what I mean? But I like yours though. It's quite fine.
So are we trying to keep the audience in suspense as far as like
who the fuck
is doing this, right? So you don't show anything, right?
Exactly, you don't show it at all.
So if he looks into a freezer and doesn't see anything, and then a pan comes out of nowhere,
what? He does like
it would lean towards Invisible Man.
No, but we're like, oh, she got the gusto to smack this nigga in the head. Come in to find out slowly. I don't know where you wanted to go with her son, but that was her son doing that to protect his mom.
Yeah, well, what?
Yeah.
You didn't give her the whole.
I know, but I'm just saying, nigga. I don't know where you wanted to go, bro. You gonna look at this nigga grabbed his nose.
The little child running around is her son.
Now he's about 11, 12 now.
Yeah, and he is a full ass ghost that's just been following her around because you know, when you murder somebody, apparently, especially if you sacrifice them, I think their soul just like lives with you forever.
Maybe it bonds with you.
I don't know.
You know what I mean?
And so it's also his mom, though. So there's that emotional part of it, but it really leans on the fact that you can adjust as a person, and so she's living and still going to work while talking to her dead son.
Yeah.
And after that murder, that's probably when he comes out and tells her who she is or who he is, and then.
I want her to definitely, like, the police are called the next morning or something like that. Niggas taking photographs. And she's like, this is a total accident. I don't fucking know what happened. Because he gets bapped. Maybe we do it with yours. He gets bapped on the back of the head. And he grabs for the sides of the shit and turns over and smacks his head again. And that was the finisher. He bleeds out inside the... And then also he freezes to death. Mm-hmm. But she's watching the whole thing. She's like, what the fuck? Still has one of the satanic books or some sort of notes or see if she can remember how to contact a spirit or something like that. Mm-hmm. And she goes back home, lights candles and shit. She's like, who the fuck is this? And then she finds out slowly that that's her son. You know what I mean?
That works better because then that's when you get the introduction to his actual physical body.
Yeah.
Because the remainder of the movie, he's just growing up at the age he would have been had she not sacrificed him.
Yeah.
And so...
Oh, so, yep. So she, like, sets a mirror in front of her with candles all around it. Mm-hmm. And she's like, who's this? And then he appears right there, naked as fuck. And just like, I'm blah, blah, you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Obviously, he doesn't have a fucking name. Or the name that she had for him.
Kaleb.
But she knew that she was going to sacrifice the nigga the whole time, so maybe it's nothing.
But there's still that 9 months, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And that could be a part of that emotional part of it when they're talking, is that he's like, you know, you were ready to give me up. She's like, I had a name for you.
Yeah.
She's like, I went back and forth with it. I was just, you know, it was a different time in my life. And he's like, that's the best answer you got.
Yeah, exactly.
And that's why I kill people you love.
You feel me? But so she sees this nigga, and maybe he's now slowly starting to understand what she gave him up for, mm-hmm. and starts to become retaliatory. Retaliation.
Yeah,
that's retaliatory against her and shit like that. So maybe she starts to, like, down the line, she starts to find happiness and shit like that. And then he starts to become upset because she couldn't keep him, and now you're trying to plan some shit with somebody else.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And now like you're trying to plan, like, a whole nother child and shit. And she's just, like, having arguments with this nigga. Her new nigga's, like, opening the door, like, who are you talking to?
And nobody's there.
And she's like, nobody. And
he's like, I'm nobody? I'm nobody?
Yeah.
And he's talking over her shoulder.
And now he's a grown man now.
Yeah.
At this point in time, we jump into the future a little bit more. She's now taking the place of the guy that was killed earlier, years before. And now she's managing multiple shit. She's looking to sell. You know what I mean? And now she's a bit prosperous. She has a fucking 3-bedroom house
But you have to go a little crazy dealing with a kid you sacrificed 18 years ago.
Yeah.
Walking around you.
And so she gets married and shit like that, maybe. And
he's in the crowd like, boo.
Tomato, 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 tomato. And they plan on having a kid and shit. And she, like maybe the last scenes are her, like, fighting with this nigga because she's full pregnant and shit. Maybe he disappears from her and comes back and she's like 8 months. And he's sitting there just like, how could you do this shit? And then they argue one more time and then he disappears, or what you think. And next thing you know, she's like tripping and falling down the stairs. And so she tries to create this spell or get through this spell to bind him to an artifact or something that, you know what I'm saying? And it creates that discomfort, and also her second time having to destroy the human that was supposed to be hers. How you feel about that? Because I'm looking, you know what I mean?
Yeah, because if you stick with that, the cult shit, the satanic shit, she's gonna look for some way to do that. And I'm pretty sure if you're fucking with like spirits and demons and shit, you're gonna have like a book about how to like bind them to shit, like how to like not die.
Or it's been in you and you remember some shit. You remember how to do this because you guys did it before, because you read the whole fucking book.
And that
witchcraft and satanic shit. You know what I mean?
So yeah, they have a big blowout, and he's never physically hurt her before.
Exactly.
He's killed other people, and he
out of pure some out of protecting her, some out of pure jealousy.
Yeah, like he'll kill you, and that's why she's kind of like pulled away. But they had that big argument, and then she got really alone because she was like, if he comes back, so she stays away from people for a second, meets a dude, and maybe that's where you have that stalker kind of vibe in the stories when she meets this dude at like a farmer's market or something. He's like in the cut watching them, like, and like acting like people can see him and shit, but he knows she can see him.
Yeah.
But he didn't stand out against other people.
Yeah.
He just looks like a regular person to her. And so maybe that's where like it builds up, but you see a few instances of this prior to like small interactions where she was like, oh, thank you so much. He was like, your hair looks great. And he was like, what? And then that person ends up like she doesn't see him again.
Mm-hmm.
And those like the little, because he's just he's jealous and
yeah, obviously.
Yeah.
So I feel like it'd be okay. So look through my eyes right now, right?
Okay.
So we caught up to that part, and now she's built a life with this man that she's with.
Okay.
Call that nigga Ernesto, right? He hates this shit. He's tried multiple times to hurt him, and that's how they got into the argument. He comes back months later. She's pregnant, but when he finds out she's pregnant, this is the last bit. You can for sure change this shit. I don't care. But so she's arguing with this nigga, and he's like, you're gonna do this shit? You know what I mean? Like, what about me? And she's just like, that was such a long time ago.
I'm not the same woman anymore.
Yeah, and you know what I mean? So she knows this knowledge, but he doesn't know that she knows how to do certain things. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Besides bringing this nigga out of the astral plane, and now he's a physical being to her. Mm-hmm. So he's like doing shit and knocking shit around the house, and she's cleaning it up. And he gets more and more violent. He tries to trip her down the stairs, and she knows how to spell bind this nigga's soul to something, right? And that'll be like the last fight. Her slowly doing that shit, her water breaking, and him flinging things at her and shit like that, and she's covering up, doing all this spell shit, and right at when the contractions are hitting or something like that, she binds this nigga's soul to the fucking a pin. You know what I mean? And it's right there that her husband gets into this house, a brooch.
The only brooch that she has from
that time before.
From that cult shit.
Maybe the brooch she wore that the cult leader gave her to make her like she's the queen of this shit. I'm the king, she's the queen. Also, these other 5 bitches are queen too. Yeah. But she's the youngest queen, so she gets this brooch. Everybody has a brooch that's important. Her husband walks into the house looking crazy as fuck. Holes in the wall, glass broken everywhere, and she's on the floor. And nigga like holding this brooch but like holding this baby that's fresh out her puss. And he's like, she's all fucking bloody and shit, cut up and sweating. And he just like, and it's her just like victorious yet defeated.
Yeah.
What the fuck you feel about that? How you feel about that, bro?
I like it. I like the whole binding it to something. I like the whole. I don't know how I feel about the whole fight scene with a 9-month pregnant woman.
What do you mean?
Well, like, just like, I think if he knows it's gonna happen, and he knows the baby's coming, he's fucking with her on small shit. Like, he's like, because let's see, how do you do this? I do want her to bind him to something,
right?
And so maybe like it's a.
All right, repeat my argument, okay? And then you can obviously argue against the shit, and then it'll make your thought process even more clear, right? So this fight, her fight with this fucking son that she never had, is literally the physical representation of her. She
did have it though.
Huh?
She did have the kid.
I mean, that she never had. She didn't have him. She physically gave birth to him. But she didn't have him as in, like, you own your child when the days that you have him in your arms.
Well, that's the same thing for anybody who, like, does an adoption. You know, they
okay, same thing.
The kid straight away.
Same
you didn't
thing.
Keep him.
Exactly.
You had him, though.
But the adoptive parents have your kid. They have a child.
They have the kid, yeah.
Yeah. So, speak in terms of currently.
Okay.
So, she never said certain things throughout the years, blah, blah, whatever the fuck. But it's a physical representation of her going and choosing to separate herself from who she was before. Mm-hmm. Also, choosing to defend herself over what she couldn't defend herself against before, and removing herself from who she was to who she is right now. So there's different motherfuckers for different events. She couldn't defend herself when she was 9 months pregnant and when she gave birth and having to physically murder her child. But now she can defend herself and become the mother that she was destined to be. That's why it was a physical fight, because every now and again, through a nigga's adolescence and growing up and shit like that, you want to fade your parents. You know what I mean? You have that much anger in you that you're like, this nigga can get these hands. Or so upset that you want to break shit. But this nigga is in the realm of a spirit and in the realm of fucking, you know what I mean, demon shit that's available. as well. You know what I mean? So his power is endless to what is anger. Then he could disappear from this plane of existence and then come back anytime he damn well pleased. As well as she sacrificed this nigga to the devil.
Well, but that's the whole thing is he can't leave and go as he pleases. He is attached to her. So he's just in this physical realm. He isn't choosing to opt out and go into a spiritual realm. When he's not around her, he's just walking around. He's just not around her.
Okay, so he can literally go anywhere in the fucking world. That's what you're saying.
Yeah.
Okay.
You know, and I'd say he can hit blips where like he shows up wherever he wants, but he's not. He is attached to her, and it's through the whole sacrificing thing.
Okay,
that soul's bonded.
So
to you.
just change the part where
that's when I said it in the beginning, I was like apparently if you kill somebody, your soul is bonded to him. So that was the whole premise, is that he's strictly attached to her. That's why he's the only one that can see her, but he can affect other people. But that's through the dark shit that he was made out of because of her actions.
Right.
So everything can still happen, but nobody sees him besides her, and he's not really conjuring more evil spirits. He's just he's more of like just becoming malevolent. I feel like with the lack of love and the lack of like humanity, you do you naturally like lean towards evil. I would think, especially if you felt wronged and you have a conscience. But so the husband is unaware of this the entire time, for the most part.
Yeah.
Because she doesn't want to let him know that she's like, a kid that. So she would.
Keeping the two lives separated.
So when he comes in, he's just a loose character.
Well,
like
really,
somebody who doesn't really need to fit in too much.
Not really, because he couldn't help her regardless of whatever the fuck he could.
Yeah, because he doesn't know no spells, and this nigga can physically touch you, and you can't see him. So
yeah.
All right, so how many people would you say this boy kills? I say at least 6.
6? That's a fucking lot.
Well, there's a few that like I'm saying in passing, like the mailman, and he's looking out the window.
You never said that, but that's crazy.
Well, no, I said that, like little small things, like, oh, I like that, and then
I know, but kill him for that?
Yeah, like he's obsessive.
Then that would make the fight even more
exactly.
concrete.
That's what I'm trying to
Yeah. No, I definitely agree with that. That would even
and like you like see him like push an old ass nigga into like the side of a car, and you just hear the neck break, and then he just like never fucking touch her, and then walks away or some dumb shit.
Yeah.
But like it's shit like that. It's childish shit because he's never got to hug his mother, so he's like nobody's gonna get to like talk to her and tell her she's pretty. The fuck? Are you my dad? Push into a car. Own it. And you never realize I've been pushed when I'm not ready to be pushed. Your neck is real flimsy. And especially if you're old and you get some force behind it, you could send somebody on an L shape towards a solid surface and their whole neck just break backwards.
Yeah, I saw a video of this grandma shooting a basketball, and she completely fell forward after she threw the ball up. Mm-hmm. It's called lifting weights when you're older. It's okay. Just do it.
You have to. You kind of have to.
Yeah, I get it. You're tired. Blah, blah, blah. Nobody wants to hear that shit. Just lift weights, bro.
Get on testosterone, get on estrogen, and just start lifting weights, and everything will be fine. But yeah, I like that because then we end with the same scenario. There's a big-ass fight over it, and she binds him to like a brooch. And then, since this is the anthology, the husband is like, and he's cleaning up, and like she's resting with the baby, and he picks up the brooch like, what the fuck is this? And puts it in his pocket, and then like is locking up the house, and it like slowly pulls out of the scene, and now her dead son is in this brooch in her husband's pocket.
like fade into the brooch, he's screaming like, no, let me out of here. Wilma!
No, I'm talking about fading out like of the house.
Oh, into
just like the picture of the city.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah,
like right like, above.
He just like, she finally goes to see him and she's like, you're safe. and then she falls asleep, and then like it pans down to him like cleaning up the house, and he picks up the brooch.
And he's like, me, I'm gonna sell this for $45.
Like, what the fuck is this? And he's like, it looks old out. Puts it in his pocket, and then just keeps cleaning the house, and then fucking Creed or something comes on, and it's fading away because this is set in the what? 70s?
It would have to be.
It would be the late 70s, early 80s by now, because the kid is
it'd be actually
mid-80s.
It'd actually be early 90s.
Yes, even better. So you get motherfucking like Nirvana playing out or something, and it's
or even better, bro. The fucking he's cleaning up everything, puts the brooch on the counter, and he's like wiping down the counter and knocks the brooch in the garbage, and then and he's slowly and it leaves from there. Like it's a complete fucking accident.
like a hot potato kind of thing.
Yeah, they're just like...
We're like, the next person's finna get this.
Yeah. You know
like Jumanji.
Exactly
you
like
could
Jumanji.
just burn that damn game, and nobody's soul would have got
Believe
lost
me,
again.
it's made out of mahogany. You can trash it.
Could have got a great burn. All right, yeah, that's it.
All right, boom, dude. Good job.
All right, what do we call that? Brooch? No, we're gonna listen to it called Brooch. We can come up with it in post. I got that for you.
You don't like that pressure?
Yeah, because I'm just like hella dead. I'm just like,
I could definitely cut out all that shit. We're not
I've been
live.
reading Dean Koontz again. It's just like, ugh.
All right. That was Pee Weezy with Untitled. You'll see the fucking title when we post the shit. This is Jody Pratt with your fellow host Patrick Wigfall. Good story, my boy. This is the Haunted Minds Anthologies. We love you. Don't stop being creative. Peace.
Deuces.